Yo, what's up, everyone? Pete, you know by now. I'm gonna call you real quick, Anish.
Okay.
You know by now to never trust that we're gonna be on time. And what's up? What's up, Connor? Long
This is
time no
close to
talk.
on time.
Well, last week we said 8:30. We said we were gonna be extra early last week so we could talk, but so we're late to what we said, but on time for our normal. Hi, real quick, say how much I love y'all. I wish you guys nothing but the best. Been listening. Yeah, I know you've been a long time listener. Like
Where are you seeing chat at?
well, I'm using Restream chat, so this is Connor talking about. I'm assuming it's the same Mr. Esports
I
from
probably
Twitter.
just logged in late. I
It's from
just saw.
Twitch. He's on Twitch.
I just
Yeah.
saw. I should have known. It was the first thing I
Yeah,
see.
that's what. Yeah, Connor says he's been listening through high school, college, 3 girlfriends, and 5 different jobs. Y'all helped me get through it all, and wanted to say thank you, love you. We love you, man. Thank you.
We do.
Thank you for listening. I know you've been a long time listener. Always hitting up our DMs, helped us with interviews. In fact, if this is the same Connor, if not, thanks anyways. um.
Appreciate you, Elusive. You came in at a good time, bro. We went to like 2 episodes a week during that time. We're bumping out a little bit more content. I'm glad you enjoyed, man. We really appreciate that.
Where do you see elusive? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was looking at a screen and I didn't read the thing yet.
I just start thinking random people. No one's
Right,
talking
yeah.
though.
Just act like there's like a million people. Hey, thanks, Jerry. No, elusive, thank you. And I mean, because you're always in the Discord. We'll still be in the Discord. We'll still be, in fact, probably gaming in the Discord more because we'll have a lot more free time.
Tim will be doing the gaming for us for the next couple of months, and I'll join in once kid is
once you have the kid
sleeping.
Well, and potentially moving.
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready. I got the whole notes in there, Nuge, so I'm ready to go if you're ready to go.
Beautiful. Let's do it.
Let me hit record as I almost forgot.
Hey, hold on. Don't start real quick. Let me see if she's calling right now.
Okay. Pretty convenient if she did.
I know. That's why I'm trying to see if she just responded with what? I was like, can you talk? I've been trying to call you.
Meanwhile, if we don't pick up, oh man, the
police are sent to
the
the house
wrath
on a
that we have
wellness
to hear
check.
if you don't pick up from your wife.
Let me just try and call her and see if she'll answer.
All right. We're gonna start the show here in just a minute, folks. Anuj is calling his wife.
Lame. She can get good news later.
All right. Did they officially accept the offer?
Yeah, we're pretty much good to go.
Good to go. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Parties at your house then.
Soon. Very, very soon. We'll get into those details later.
All right. Well, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hello, welcome. What is up? And not hitting record. Woo! Look at that. Episode 400, starting just the way episode 1 did, where Almost didn't record it.
That would have been okay.
Actually, episode 1 was technical issues. So, recording does not keep your computer awake, and the computer went on sleep mode, and then it stopped recording. But I digress. All right. Hello, welcome, what is up, and welcome to episode 400 of the Centering Esports podcast, and this is going to be the best episode ever, and also the saddest, because, folks, this is it. This is our last episode ever for the foreseeable future. Going on hiatus, as they all say never, but it is our last episode ever as far as we are concerned with tonight. So we are going to be talking about the good times, the bad times, telling you everything, peeling back the curtain a little bit. If you're in chat, answering all of your questions, and we'll just see where this thing goes. Of course, we have e-news. We'll always have e-news to wrap up, talk a little bit of esports and that, but other than that, no real script tonight. So we'll see where this goes. But this episode is brought to you by you guys, the listeners, the ones who have been with us since day one day ago. Doesn't matter. We love you. We appreciate you. And the only reason we've even got to episode 400 was because of you. So again, always appreciated. Much love.
Jump. Back to what you want to. That bomb's so far sick, they gotta move quick right now. They're going for it. The defuse is already happening. Hiko, are you kidding me? He's gonna go for it. They win the round. Hiko picks up a triple and Cloud9 win it one. Now he can go one on wall and into the back. Here's it on Topper. They've lost 3. They've lost 4. Into the disaster. They've lost 5. Navi disintegrating Topper. I mean, my heart's beating, my hands are shaking. He's thinking about it. Here it comes. Man from Vanguard's pretty close. They're gonna dive in. It was the target here of exhausted Uzi. Oh, on the back, they're trying to get in. But Zero's taking on the turret. He's gonna go down as well. Inside low. Inside goes down. Now Uzi is just my goodness. There's a god.
Are you kidding me?
Let's keep it clean. It's a family show.
Hey, my name is Launders, and you're listening to TCR.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome. Welcome back to another edition of the Centering Esports Podcast, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast. This is episode 400, coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date is 8/22. The time is 9:14 p.m. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at The Centering. And join our Discord. We'll always be in there. Come play games with us. Say what's up. If you're listening on any iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, whatever, go ahead, follow, download, leave a comment, like, subscribe, whatever. We'll see it. We'll appreciate it. And my name is Tim. I'll be your captain for this final journey into esports. And alongside me, as always, is my best friend, my brown friend. It's Anuj. What's up?
I'm giving you like a virtual hug and handshake, kind of like a bro hug handshake at the same time. Yeah, man, this is it. What a journey! This is awesome, and I feel like today feels like more of a celebration. And Launders getting the last liner, like how
I hope you liked it.
How sweet is
I really
that?
thought about. I was like, I don't know. And of course, as typical fashion, we had a lot of plans for this episode. As Hazmat Pete in chat like to point out, we said we were going to start 45 minutes ago last episode. So we're 45 minutes late, per usual.
We have a good reason today, though. It wasn't just like...
Right.
Putting the kids to sleep is always a good reason, but
I mean,
this goes beyond that.
Right.
This is like...
Life, though. Much for the reason why we have to take a break from the show. Life got in the way. It's very fitting on episode 400. And we were gonna do like one giant like liner intro, and then it's just never got around to it. So we landed on Launders, which who better to send us off? Before I forget, Arcus in chat, he said he's got to go, so he won't be in chat for very long. But love you, buddy. Thank you for always being here and listening. Connor in chat, Elusive, Hazmat Pete, all you boys I'm seeing in here, thank you so much for stopping by. I know a lot of you have been with us
a long
time. So definitely appreciate it. Probably long enough to know that intro. So I don't even know how many listeners would know of the OG TCR intro, but that's what we played prior to the normal one today.
People probably thought we made that for this show.
Yeah, it's very well. But I mean, if you ever want to know how long the show has been around, look up all the plays that were in that intro, and that will date us pretty well. Those were all pretty relevant plays when I made that intro so many years ago, and that was even before your time, right?
It was, and Counter-Strike's not the only one celebrating like a 10-year anniversary right now, it feels like.
Yeah, no, so I mean, we'll get into the nitty-gritty, but that was the OG intro I made way back, 6-7 years ago. 400
still
episodes
my favorite
ago.
intro. I still
mean,
like
look,
it. It's like really hype, and I think we've grown out of that intro, but still my favorite intro.
The production value in that intro is the reminiscence of a young boy's dream. And the intro now, I think, fits just fine.
That intro is like definitely not only a young boy's dream, but like a young boy's mind talking out loud.
Right.
Like it's hype
just,
to the max.
And you know? Originally we were going to keep it forever, and then some people are like, it's a little too long, or it's almost too hyped, like whatever, and who knows, but I still like it. It's still I think it still slaps,
It does. It really does.
Anytime I'm going to just listen to it anytime we're about to play some CS just to get me hyped up. So Hazmat Pete says still no Maven in the intro. Never. I only put good casters in intros. You know this. Casters that I can listen to more than 5 minutes before hitting the mute button.
So an intro would be perfect.
Right, yeah. Here's your 5 seconds of fame. It's episode 400. It doesn't matter. We don't need to make friends right now. So yeah, there's that. Let's get into that. But before we do, I know last week we knocked out all of our intros or all of our segments, but I would feel guilty if we didn't do kind of our staples on this show. The last episode.
Sure. Yep.
So first, let's start with Good Dude of the Week. Good Dudes of the Week. Number 1, Lyric. Twitch streamer. Really has nothing to do with esports, but he's literally the first guy I ever watched on Twitch. He became a gamer dad. I had no idea he was in a position to be gamer dad.
Yeah.
He keeps his life kind of private, so I was kind of surprised when he posted this, but congrats to Lyric. Welcome to the club, and soon to be part of the club is an esports guy. It's Rain. So announced that they were expecting. So good dudes there. Round of applause. GG's to them. Welcome to the Gamer Dad Club.
A little bit more concerning for Rain. I expect to see him benched within the next 6 to 9 months.
Yep. That's normally how it goes.
But
he's looking good.
Nonetheless.
I almost didn't recognize his picture.
He's like lost a lot of weight.
Ditched the little samurai ponytail that he used to have.
Yeah. No, he was looking good. Proved us wrong too at the same time. So
about what?
We've been down on him quite a bit. When FaZe was struggling, thought he should be swapped out. Now he bounced back, looking good. Number 1 team in the world. Number 2 team in the world.
Number 2
right now.
Team in the world, sir.
Yeah.
Don't get it twisted. Yeah, so
doesn't matter that you won every big event ever in a 6-month span, but sure, be number 2.
Hey man, look, semantics. We'll take it. And yikes of the week. Our yikes of the week is the fact that this is the last episode. So there you have it. Pretty
big yikes.
Pretty big yikes. Pretty big yikes. The fact that I don't want to say we're calling it quits, because again, we will still represent TCR. We'll still be in the Discord. The Twitter will be there. Who knows? Maybe we'll get more creative with shorter content later down the road. Like our hands are forced to do quick hit content. I don't know.
The easiest way to put it is the show as you know it for now is as you know it
Yes.
right now is done.
The weekly
You know,
episode, long form show. We're putting it out to pasture.
yeah,
So,
like what's next, we don't know yet, but there doesn't mean there might not be a next, but there might not be one at the same time. So
right.
we're leaving that option open. Tim might roll solo, do
Right.
something. I might do something. I don't know. So, we'll kind of see where that takes us, I guess you could say.
So, like I said, we don't really have a game plan for this episode, Anuj. So, I guess we can just talk, right?
Yeah, let's just talk. I mean, like, I think we could just start off with the why just to begin with. I think that's important, and we have discussed this on previous episodes.
Yeah.
We're not trying to hide it, and it's not some big secret. But for me, and I think I speak, partially for Tim at the same time here, is life has just kind of caught up with us, and we're busier than ever, with Tim already having 2 children and me having a second one on the way here in just 4 or 5 weeks. It's really right around the corner. Life is just getting busier, and I don't think that's going to be going in reverse anytime soon. We have our full-time jobs that we have to put a lot of attention in. Obviously, that's what pays the bills and beyond. And this, even though it's fun, is an investment, and we only want to do it, I feel, if we can provide a certain level of quality. And I think we both see that part slipping just in terms of how much esports we can consume at any given time.
Yeah, and I think that's the kicker for me, right? Is because me from the moment you started doing the show, which we can get to later, but because you came in around like episode 46 or something like that, 46, 48, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah.
And that was the one thing I always preached was like, we are going to sound good, right? Like we are going to treat this like it was our full-time gig. And I think we always have for the longest time. So credit to us. Find me another esports podcast that's lasted as long as we have and been as consistent, and I would call you a liar, because there isn't. Like there truly is no one out there that have done what we've done in the realm of esports. And that's just a fact.
For as long as we've done it, I guess, in terms of number of episodes and things like that, right? Like there's great creators out
correct.
there. And,
yeah, of course. But for as long as the longevity of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. I started this podcast when I just had a girlfriend, and now I'm married to said girlfriend with 2 kids and a house. And, like I was in college, in radio, not having any concern for my future. So, life has changed a lot. And I think you and I have talked about it, like even within the last year and a half, before we even mentioned, stopping the show, we kind of both agreed, like, you know what, we just haven't had the time to do what we want to do with the show, right? We used to do a lot more content, a lot more traveling, a lot more little fun things here and there. We don't have the time for that, like just straight up, right?
And like also a lot of that stuff feels like a drag now, like where it used to be a lot of fun to go to all of these events. I feel like that has also become like either you are one of part of the big media conglomerates to get the access that you need, or that's also become increasingly difficult, as time has gone on.
But again, I think that's just part of the family side of things, right? Like it's a drag because it's not our only responsibility for that day, right? Like before it was like, oh, ESL's coming in town. We got nothing going on. Let's go watch. And now we're like, well, hold on, because I got to help with the kid, or my wife wants me to go do this, or I got to go do this with the house, or, you have that list of just ever.
Well, and they start most of these events at Thursday at 11 a.m.
And look, and I talked to, hung out with Adam from Philly Esports over the weekend. He was in town, and I told him, I was like, oddly enough, it's like, I almost feel like we're phased out of esports in a way, right? Like having a family, being older, and trying to do esports content is rough because it is not meant for the family, man. It is meant for someone out there who has 8+ hours on a Saturday to just kill, right? And I'm not talking about casual viewers, or I'm talking about people who did a talk show who have to focus on this to know what we're talking about. Which,
Well, and we pride ourselves on being able to talk about multiple esports,
Right.
and that's also, as much as it was the reason that helped us grow, I feel, for a long while there. If you wanted general esports talk, you came to us. That has also become kind of the downfall at the same time, is having to keep up with not just Counter-Strike, but like Counter-Strike, Call of
right.
Duty,
But it's not even that,
Overwatch
right?
for a
Like,
long time
because
there.
Counter-Strike
It's
was
like,
always our bag, but now it's just like I don't have the energy to watch Valorant. I just don't, right? Like episode 400, I'm going to come clean. I'm going to be me. I don't have the energy to watch or keep up with Valorant. I know it's entertaining. I have watched it and I do like it, but as far as like the ins and outs and, each scene of Europe and, the Asian Pacific scene, I don't have it in me, coach. Like I don't have it in me.
well, because even watching it, like, we're not playing it, and we're
Right.
playing like we're Counter-Strike boys, and that's been well known. Like, we don't hide the fact that we're Counter-Strike
No.
people. But it's like also, I stay interested in competitive CS because I also enjoy playing it, and that's
Right.
always been one of the things with us is, if you notice, Tim and I get really excited about what we're playing, and then boom, we follow the esports scene and follow it so closely, and then when we move on, the interest dies in some of these games, right? Like
Right.
Halo, we were so excited about what was going to come with Halo and the league, and we were all pumped up, and it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, I don't have the energy to keep up with this. Like, I don't feel like the developers care about the game, so
Right.
so why should I?
Yeah, and that's like a huge part of just the content side of it too, right? Like I love Halo and I wish we could talk about it all the time, but it's like realistically there's 1,000 people watching it, right? So it's like even less would care that much to listen about it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's all of that, and I'll say this. I was a little surprised on how much COVID affected what we could do. I think when COVID first hit, right, 2 years ago, give or take, at first it was like, well, this is going to be great because esports can continue, right? And it's not going to be affected like the traditional sports and the downtime and things like that. But for what you and I do, the content creation side, and at that moment in time, like early 2020, the show was really picking up. Like and we talked a little bit about this on the show, and like we've picked up investors and we signed deals with like Alt back in the day, and we had sponsorships and partners, and like the show was really like, there were multiple times where me and Anuj were like, oh shit, like this might be it. Like I think we did it. Like I think we can make this work. And it's just like the dominoes like started to fall, and then it was like a gust of wind stood them back up. Like I can't even express to you guys how close it was from being entirely different, right? It putting us in a position where we could continue the show. Because let's be real, I don't think either of us want to quit the show if it made sense to continue it, right?
Financially, right? Like previously, it either made sense financially, or we saw a lot of potential in what we were working on at the time to get us to where we wanted to be. And this show's never made like oodles of money, but we've done okay for ourselves to be able to like attend events and get little things that we want when it comes to equipment, and enjoying it for what it is, right? It's never been a crazy successful thing, adventure either, in the sense financially. It's been good. And so I think once everything kind of, for not the first time, and maybe we talk about this a little bit, but like not the first time, where something is there in front of you and then almost poof, it's gone. And that comes to either sponsorships, people that we're actively working on collabs with, investors. Like it gets messy.
Yeah.
And that's happened a couple of different times. And I think during COVID, when it started to happen again, and we realized that we were now going back into a rebuilding process at a time where we didn't have the energy more than anything to do that. We felt like this was just the best decision.
Yep. Real quick, Clutchy in chat. I'm just going to do chat shout outs when I see him. Clutchy in chat says, been a big fan since episode 47. That is awesome. So very, very much appreciate it.
Clearly, I see the relation on when I started to when you became a fan. And so even if I started on 48, that's obviously what kept this going.
Would have been around. Yeah, he might have started on the last episode without a nooch. So it's been a minute. Oh, my wife says something in chat. She says, "You guys are amazing." Thanks.
She said more than that.
Look, there is no doubt that this is the first time my wife has ever turned into the show. So, no doubt.
Well, thank you, Morgan. We appreciate
yeah,
that.
2017 sounds about right for episode 47. I want to say we started like September or November of 2015, but at the time it was me and Brandon, and the shows were once a week at best. It was very sporadic when we were kind of getting it going, and then we took a break because Brandon quit, and so the show's been around since 2015. But
did you ever think Uncle Julio's would lead to this 5-year-long relationship we've had?
No, and let's finish what we were talking about first, because I do want to talk about you coming onto the show, and I think the importance of that. But you were saying to backtrack, the investors and how it wasn't the first time. And this is also part of the reason I think it would be, this episode is almost more therapeutic, especially for me, because it's like, this was my baby at the start. I started it when I worked in radio as a passion project to talk about esports on the radio, which mission accomplished. We did multiple shows on the air at the Ticket, #1 sports station in the country. We were there talking esports before anyone. So,
which was a highlight.
Huge.
It was like a huge highlight for us, and that was a lot of fun. I'm so glad we got to do that.
We got to break news on it. We built that relationship with Envy, and Mike Rafael came on, broke some Dallas Fuel news, and that was huge for us. It was a huge growing point. But then again, when I had a kid, I left the radio business because it's just not, honestly, it's just not worth it. Like, kids, don't ever try to get into radio. That would be my best advice. If you ever wanted to get in radio, don't do TV. But, and how do I say this without like being a dick? But there are corners of this industry, and me and Anuj, maybe to our own fault, were very ignorant on the business side of things and how it worked. And we kind of came in with the attitude of everyone's a good dude, right? And that's just not the case, right? Like, you have people out there that are only in it for themselves. As soon as they figure out that you can't help them, you're dead to them. We've had a lot of relationships that we thought we were close with and then not. We've been, what I would say, not lied to, but played with, for sure.
Our ignorance in some areas, or lack of knowledge, we can call it, hurt us at times in this business.
Like, we're not business guys.
We trusted some folks to kind of steer us in the right direction, because people know how to say the right things. It's more they're probably better salespeople than they are.
But anyway, like, we were so like you said, our lack of knowledge of, like, we were hesitant to try to get into business with some dudes, but we were like, man, we're never going to get this opportunity again. We should probably just do it and take that leap of faith. And, pen on contract, signed everything, and then you get the first chunk of payment, and you're like, this is great. And then radio silence. And then we reach out, and it's, this is, sorry, we can't do it. And then it's what we thought we had a sizable chunk of money coming our way to invest back into the show, wasn't the case. The investors that we were going to have, the whole conversation of the investment partnership was pitched. Anuj and I handle the content side. they can help us with the business side. It's, oh, we're working with all these brands and orgs, and man, we got all these people that we could hook you up with interviews and blah, blah, blah. We sign the paperwork and quickly find out you exchanged a couple of emails with these orgs. You don't talk to any of them, and you don't really know what you're doing on the esports side anyways to help us out with the business. And then it's like, again, it kind of turned it around that, like, I don't want to like get into the rant over here, but that's essentially, you know, I feel like we were played with in certain situations to where, you know, if I talked to those guys today, I would have much different words to say to them than we did the last time we spoke, because I do feel like we were played with and borderline lied to in certain situations to where had it went the other way, you know, who knows, right? Like, who knows where we could have been with that proper business advisor mentor.
No, there was a handful of those moments, right? I mean, we still
course.
have unpaid invoices from a handful of people.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just been unfortunate that but that's part of the process. I think we learned something from that. I know I definitely grew through this show, you know, because I did learn that it's not everything is as rosy as it seems.
Right.
When things are always going good, you know, you should be trying to find a glitch in the matrix here. Like, what am I missing? You know, and
Right.
that's happened to us a couple of times. And again, you know, we live with those decisions. There's things that Tim and I could have also done more of if we wanted to grow this, and that's part of the decision to walk away now. And so, you know,
I'm not saying if it's all
lessons that will kind of last with us and hopefully help us in other aspects of life and business as we go.
Yeah, I mean, you know, lessons were definitely learned, especially on like the business side. And, you know, when you see stories of, oh, these players haven't been paid, or this org hasn't paid their employees, and blah, 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 just, we were a part of it, right? We didn't talk about it when it happened because, you know, I'm still obviously irked by it all, because I just feel like, again, these are things that had they gone the other way, it would have opened up a lot more avenues for us to even hire on help, right? Because that's the other thing is, it's always just been us, right? We have never had a producer or a team with us. It's just been us. So, you know, I'm a radio audio guy. I can do that. Video, though, what would take someone 30 seconds takes me an hour, right? Like, I just don't do video editing. Never have been formally trained in it like I was in audio. And then Anuj, to no fault of your own, you don't do any of it, but you never came from a background of wanting to even do the entertainment side, right? Like you said earlier, Anuj joined the show because the original host was me and my roommate at the time, Brandon. So for those who know, remember that. R.I.P. Brandon. We started the podcast as an avenue we both loved esports. We grew up playing together, you know, on Halo teams, Rainbow Six teams.
Y'all were roommates at the time?
Friends since like 6th grade. Like, it's nuts. Now we don't even talk, but that's a whole nother story in itself that, to be honest, I don't even know.
That might be episode 401.
Yeah, 401. Once I figure out why we don't talk anymore, I'll let you know. Because he like left the Discord and everything. Like, even listeners were like, what happened to Brandon? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. Went completely MIA. So when he left at like episode 40, around 40, Brett came on. RIP to Brett, who's also left us. And then you came on. But it was literally, it was me and my wife, you and your wife, and my brother and maybe his wife in town.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Pete, I think Pete's been around since the Brandon days. I think Pete has been a damn near episode oneer, as far as I know. And it was just, we were at lunch and we were at dinner, and I was like, all right, guys, I got to head out. I got to go up downtown to record the podcast. And my wife was like, well, why don't you take Anuj, take your brother? Like, you know, Anuj, you play video games, right? And I guess
I was like, well, I played Counter-Strike.
Right, and this was after DreamHack, so you and I already went to the first DreamHack and stuff, and like, you and I were buddies, but I don't think we were, I mean, not nearly as close as we are now, right?
No, like we knew each other, you know, and we were like guy friends that aren't really close friends, you know, like we see each other, things were well, Hope you're doing well. Life's treating you all right. Cool. And then like we kind of went and did our own thing. You know, you had your own group of friends, I had my group of friends, and they never really collided up until that point.
Cross-pollinated. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, long story short, you came by, you did the episode, and you were like, damn, this was kind of fun. And we were like, well, why don't you just come back for the next one? And then, why don't you just come back for the next one and the next one? And then sure enough, you were just kind of the third host at the time.
Yeah.
And it worked out perfect. I thought with you, me, and Brett, I thought it worked out perfect because, you and I are very much in the same type of personality. Brett was kind of always the gamer dad because he was always older than us.
Yeah.
Even though I think
he always managed to have a different perspective.
Right. Yeah, because he was older with kids. You and I didn't have kids at the time, so it's how I thought it worked out. And then when Brett left, obviously I still think it worked, right? Obviously. But I do think that it's very cool that you and I have kind of really became best friends from this show. It's like every
100%.
week we have an excuse to talk, and whether it be before we go live or after we go live, like we share conversations and things like that. I've always tell
I don't have with a ton of other people, right?
Yeah,
like
my wife is always like, oh, mental health, and you should go talk to a therapist. And I was like, I got a nooch. Like, I don't need a therapist. Like, I go talk to a nooge, you talk to me, we get it out, we play some Counter-Strike, and we move on, all right? But that would never have happened had it not been for the show.
No, the show was, amazing for so many reasons, but that's clearly one of them, right? It's like it grew our friendship into, it just wasn't going to happen without it. Like, it just wasn't going to. And so, that's been a blessing because now we have a lifelong friendship that goes beyond the show. The show is a part of our friendship, but not revolved around the friendship. And so, that's been great to see our families grow kind of side by side and experience all that along with the struggles of the show and the good and the highs and the lows. And having you to go through that with was a fun experience because you also see things a lot of times in a different way than I do. And so that makes for like a different insight or perspective on things, which has been awesome. Yeah.
And I don't, I think one thing that I always appreciate is, when we did the 2 shows a week and you're like, hey, I got to slow it down a little bit. Life's getting busy with a kid, blah, blah, blah. Can we do 1 show a week? Right. Like you weren't wanting just to straight up quit. Like others, you were like, hey, let's do 1 show. And I was like, all right, I'm down. And then like, even here, like you approached it and said, hey, I'm thinking I have to be done here with the second kid coming up. And that's when I was like, I've actually been toying around with the idea too. So maybe this is just time. But I do appreciate the fact that I said, just get me to 400, like we were, I think at 20 episodes away. And I was like, just get me to 400. It's a, whatever self-fulfillment,
it's a milestone for both of us. Right. And I understood the significance behind the number because it's not something that's going to be replicated by tons of people. People get there, right?
Right.
Like 400.
But even like normal podcasts, like 400 episodes.
It's just, we felt like it was a tribute to our work to get to that number. And I understood the importance of wanting to get there. And so, it was for both of us, I did it for you and I did it for me, and it was cool to be able to get to this moment and share it. This is like the best part is like, it feels like a little bit of a going away party and chat's buzzing right now. And
I
you can see so many names of
Joey.
Of
Joey's in the chat. I haven't seen Joey in a while, buddy. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. And he, Joey brings up the fact that he never realized that we were going through all that drama on the back end as far as investors and all that go. And around the time of the merch drop. And look, the merch drop with Alt, like that's a whole nother thing in itself, right? That was another one of those moments where we looked at each other and said, damn, I think this is going to be huge. We were friends with the guys at Alt, like genuine friends, I felt like. And we were like, shit, we are in partnerships with the guys who do actual branding for like the Overwatch League and Call of Duty League. And like, these are like
we went to their store, for example, and like Sinatra and all these guys are sitting at the table,
Right.
hanging out. Like the whole Team USA was like
Right.
hanging out at the shop and whatnot.
And all of that was also like why we were able to get so many interviews, because looking back, we've had some crazy interviews on the show. And
Yeah.
yes, I am a former semi-pro in Rainbow Six Vegas 1 and 2. I do know that. But at the end of the day, I'm just like you guys, right? Like, we are just two normal dudes who had a passion for esports and wanted to bring that to everyone to talk about and have that community built around. So the fact that we were able to get so many connections were huge. Part of that was alt, unfortunately, and again, this was just part of COVID. When COVID hit, I don't even want to say our big investment fell through. I just think we were cucked in that situation, if you want my honest opinion. Alt, I do feel bad because they kind of fell a victim to COVID as a company.
Yeah.
So, shit happens in that department. Still sucks for us.
A little bitter on that too, though.
Again, because we were going like weeks and months waiting for payment and a check to come in. I reached out under the good faith of like, hey, who do I got to call about this? And they were like, oh yeah, we're like no longer a company. And it was like, okay.
Like we just declared bankruptcy like last week.
Thanks for letting me know that. Cool. Thank you. So that was money lost in the investment, money lost in merch, right? Because we were planning on doing a lot of merch with them. But then also
that was still exciting to get to do that drop though. So even though that experience,
right? And that was another thing, like the 101 burglars, right? So this is another cool behind the scenes story for you folks who care about this stuff. Well, what's up, gameplay videos? Thank you so much in chat, buddy. Thanks you. I know you always stop by too, so I always appreciate it. What was I saying? Oh,
merch.
The merch, the 101 burglars. Okay, so obviously that was a play with 100 Thieves, right? Like we were making fun of 100 Thieves because at the time they dropped what, looks similar to what we did. They have similar looking clothing. And we thought it would just be funny if we did 101 burglars, right? Not 100 Thieves. And they definitely know about it because they've made multiple videos with multiple reference to 101 burglars. So that just doesn't, I refuse to believe that's just them. But prior to COVID, okay, there were plans. It was in the works that we and Alt, so Anuj, myself, and the dudes over at Alt were going to put on like an esports street style fashion show in Los Angeles. And like 100 Thieves was going to be there, or, this was all in the works. And like Nade Shot was going to be there. We were going to get Nade Shot on the show and, have that because Alt knew a bunch of people that we could meet. And this was like do you remember all this? Like it was going to be huge. And like, I was telling people at work and my wife and my family, and like, that's incredible. Like how insane, like you guys are gonna get flown out to do all this and hang out with 100 Thieves, and COVID hit, all fell through. So that definitely
it's like a handful of those stories.
And again, it's just a few of those things where it's like, COVID hit and you're like, damn, this won't affect us that much. And then you realize like, oh no, all those face-to-face relationship building moments are shut.
The Hastro conversation.
Yeah, so there was a conversation one time with Hastro of Envy about having us up there because they just redid their
right
studios.
Before COVID hit. That was like week or couple weeks before
we had him on the show.
Yeah,
we had him on the show, and this was, I think, during the initial 2-week lockdown, because he even said like, oh yeah, once this lockdown's over, I'd love to have you guys up at the station or at the offices, and you guys can do the show there. And maybe that was gonna spawn into like us doing something officially through Envy or things like that for content. And again, COVID kind of stopped that dead in the waters. A lot of our connections over with Envy and other multiple esports were ended up getting either let go, laid off, or just left, right? Because of with esports being the volatile business that it is. So we lost a lot of connections through the fallout of COVID. I think that's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
Like we had a lot of connections, and so that's why even like the interviews got a little tougher to get, right? And unfortunately for us, all it takes is one retired pro to create another podcast, and all of his pro buddies are going to do the interviews with them over us. Like, we were able to get pretty much anytime we wanted anyone in COD. And then you saw COD pros start their own content, and that kind of just died dead in the water. So,
and there's like a ton of them now, you know?
Yeah, right. So there's that. Hand up, I'll take responsibility for this, although I will also say not my fault, because had I known. It doesn't help. Here's a little life pro tip for you. It does not help that the person you talk shit about for 7 years then becomes part owner with the org that you were buddies with.
That definitely did not help.
That-
Like, we would have been fired so quickly after that transition had been done.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing that we didn't
Like, you know,
quit our day job.
Hand up.
Like, we would have been.
That's on me. That's on me. Talking shit about Hex being the worst esports owner in the history
I
of
always
esports.
tried to backtrack you a little bit, and you just had to keep going.
Well, it was good cop,
had
bad
to
cop.
keep going.
We were playing good cop, bad cop, and unfortunately, I tried to get him, even like when he was in like Envy, I tried getting him on the show so many freaking times, and I'm convinced that this, like, he just was never going to come on because I talked too much shit about him, which is fine. That's fine. The guy can't take a joke. Go figure. You figure someone who wore the clown shoes he does, he could take a joke, but I digress. I guess he can't.
One last shot on the way out.
So that didn't happen, and so for that reason, I am not lifting the TCR curse on Optic.
No, we'll just leave that running.
I am sorry to all my friends over at Optic that were formerly of Envy. You are just caught in the crossfire between me and Hex. But the condition was come on the show and I'll lift the curse. He never came on the show. I'm never lifting the curse.
I mean, unless he is calling in right now.
I don't think so. My phone isn't even on vibrate, so I would know. And then for those who don't know, the TCR curse is Optic will never win again. I think this was placed about 6 years ago, because Hex said he would come on the show, or people in Optic said they would come on the show at least 3 times, and each time bailed on us or ghosted us every single time. So since then, I think they've only won 1 Worlds. So suck it, Optic. Could have won maybe 2, maybe 3. But not with this curse on you. Never going to happen. So, so there's...
I got to ask you. I want to
that.
ask you a couple of questions. I got some, like, hard-hitting... We can even knock them out. Favorite event we went to?
And I know people... the Overwatch League finals were so fun. And
which one?
Well, New York, I was only there, but New York was pretty
like,
badass.
which one was your, like? It could be an event that I wasn't at. It doesn't have to be one that
right.
we attended together. So, just your favorite event.
That's a good one. I don't know. Like, off the top of my head, I would probably say like the Philly finals for the Overwatch League was pretty sweet. ESL, I think, is still the best TO out there as far as like the way they treated us.
The best host at the time.
Right. Like, we were able to do everything, and now I wish I could see what they would do with blood oil money, because it would probably be incredible.
Eating caviar.
We would just get like a Rolex to show up. I don't even know.
Eating caviar out of IMAX.
Right. Like, I don't know. But I don't know. I would probably say like Overwatch League or something.
I think I would probably go with BlizzCon.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Blizzcon. But that was like kind of encompassing of the whole trip.
Right. Yeah, BlizzCon was... So BlizzCon is another one of those things where it's like, looking back, it's just like, we were able to go to BlizzCon completely on someone else's dime. Right?
Yeah.
Technically our dime, but it was through with investor money. And meet, that's how we met the guys at Alt formally. I knew them prior, but that's where we kind of picked up the relationship. And got to meet a ton of people. BlizzCon was pretty
kicked
awesome.
out of the VIP section in front of everyone.
All
that built stories that lasted forever
in front of literal billionaires. Here we are watching Overwatch with them. They don't give a fuck. They got all the free food and energy drinks in the world.
Which is why we went there in the first place. It wasn't even to network.
And none of them...
We wanted a good view, and we wanted free food.
And none of them are touching any of it. And I think that was the dead giveaway that we didn't belong. Because we walked right past all the billionaires, didn't say hi, grabbed a free Red Bull, grabbed some free snacks, and sat our asses down and watched the game. And we were there for like couple hours.
Dude, we got majority of the event. We were kicked out.
We actually left, and then when we came back, I think is when they were like, "Wait, who are these guys? Why do you just keep coming back and grabbing food and leaving?" It's like
just hanging out, just sitting next to all these owners.
Right.
That was probably my favorite event. It also helps that we went to go see Star Wars World and
we went to Disneyland and all that. That
cool.
will definitely help. But and it was also kind of like the last BlizzCon, right?
Favorite esports event in the terms of like the game that you saw?
Well, so this would have to be for me personally. I was there for the NA major for MLG Columbus.
Yep.
And I was there for like that crazy overtime between Liquid and SK and all that.
Yeah.
You know, that was incredible, you know. And that was like early on. That was when Brandon was still here, so he was even up there with me and stuff. But that was pretty incredible. It was also like when I realized like how long esports events can really go on, because that was nuts.
Worst event you've attended?
What was the event at the Esports Stadium where
Esports Awards?
Well, the Esports Awards is a complete fucking joke and ran like monkeys are behind the scene. That was an absolute joke for the Esports Awards. And you know, they've always been in Arlington. We haven't gone back because we get there and they basically shove us in this back corner and we couldn't even talk to anyone. Like we went there thinking, oh, we're going to get all these interviews and it's going to be great for networking. And they were like, here's some dry ass sandwiches that have been here for 12 hours and a cookie, and go sit up top. And we ended up leaving early, and it was so delayed. I remember that. It was like 3 hours behind schedule. And we were like,
it was real bad. We left 3 awards in. I think we were on the 3rd award of the show.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're going to stand here for all of these and just like look down at everyone.
To anyone?
You know, Tim and I, this started showing our age. We went to esports venue, the Esports Arlington venue. I passed out on the couch in the middle of the game.
Well, so that was my actual esports event. Other than the awards, which is, look, let's be honest, the Esports Awards are a joke anyways. They're fan voted. They're an absolute joke, and anyone who takes
Timmy's to me holds so much more value than the Esports Awards. I can't even tell you.
The Timmy's is still by far the pulse of the industry. The other event, and I forget what it even was, but it was, I want to say it was like Thanksgiving, and we went to the Esports Stadium. It was, oh shoot, what was that league called? They're not even around anymore. It wasn't Flashpoint. What was the one before Flashpoint?
You're talking about a Counter-Strike league?
Yeah, Face It. Did Face It used to do actual events? Fuck, what was it called? Remember, we went one year, and it was always on Thanksgiving, and that one time they fed us like kings. Do you remember that? Like the food.
It was Face It.
So Face It. The one year, the food, people, when I tell you that I have never ate food like this, I mean, it could have been a Michelin star restaurant.
A solid buffet.
It was so good.
We had a solid. We had a lot of food options.
A lot of food. So next year, the same tournament rolls around, and we went, and there was no food.
I don't even think we had like chips or anything.
I think they had like a warm bottle of water. Is what it was. And we sat here for this event waiting to interview the players after the finals for like 6 hours.
Wasn't it SK?
It was Astralis and someone else. I forget who. And then it was like as the match was like coming to a close, we were like, okay, so where are the player interviews going to be? Oh, it's too late. The players are going to have to go home, back to the hotel after the event. We're not going to do the interviews today. We're sorry. It's like, are you kidding me right now? Like, do you think I'm here so I could enjoy the view of the stage? Like, I'm here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to talk to the players. And now you're telling me they're not going to be here? So that was like a complete 7 hours wasted.
And then that was an event we also quit going to because it was like, okay, leave it. Dipping early for Thanksgiving is not worth this at all.
No. So that was brutal. But overall, the events I think were okay. I think they were all good. ESL still wins. They always treated us right in the way they did it, and that was at the time too, where it's like it wasn't super popular, so there was only like 3 media people there anyways. It was like us, HLTV, and
then some other random whoever was like the it person at the moment, Decay for a period of time.
Jacob Wolf would show up once in a blue moon, but all these guys. Favorite interview? Any interview stand out?
I mean, personal reasons, like Rambo, the first time we interviewed him, because that was just for me, a legendary moment. I would say, I was also really excited to get Launders on when we got him. Like, that was a really fun interview, and I was really looking forward to that. And I think my favorite interview, including those two, was getting Simple in the way that we did, because that was such a roller coaster of emotions to get Simple to speak with us, and that was such an amazing weekend of esports for us, because we were locked in a basic ass hotel lobby for 5-6 hours with such exclusive access to players that you will not get nowadays. It's not run the same. It was so much more laid back.
Hanging out with them.
We were hanging out with them and their families, and we were just chatting it up with them. And you had the French team, I forgot which roster they were on at the time, if it was G2 or what, but smoking their cigs and jumping in the pool and having a good time. And Simple was out there just, on his own, I don't know what, just doing whatever he was doing. I kept approaching him, but I had approached him for an interview after a bad loss, which didn't go well. And he came back later on and came and did the interview, and it was a really cool moment. And we had to work for that one. So I would say Simple was probably my most memorable interview, just in terms of what we had to go through to get him.
Yeah, that was a good one. And ECS, Canada in chat. ECS, that's the TO that I couldn't think of. 1 year they were top notch, and the other year it was like, you guys doing budget cuts? What's happening here? Simple was really good. Launders was great because of the whole backstory, right? How we were messing with him at DreamHack back years before, and he had no idea who we were. We were just being obnoxious, drunk idiots because he was Launders and we loved him. And he was always just we were always the fanboys of him for whatever reason. But I loved Launders. I loved having him on. I wish we could have gotten him on again. But he's a busy dude. He's hard to pin down, and he's in Europe.
Got a lot going on at all times.
He's in Europe most of the time, so it's just schedules never lined up. Rops was really cool because at the time he was pretty much a rookie, and I still think Rops is our highest.
That
viewed.
Interview blew up,
right?
Which was really cool. That made that interview even better because it in our terms blew. Our YouTube stuff doesn't hit. People are not listening to us on. Most of you are not listening to us on. Although the chat is primarily YouTube right now.
So I'll say this too. Going forward, I think we might ditch Twitch and just do all YouTube. So if you're watching on Twitch, go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/thecentering, and subscribe to us there. I think we have more people on YouTube. It just seems like we always have more people in chat and shit on YouTube. So
yeah. And then that Rob's interview obviously took off, so made that really exciting. You know what another really cool interview was, Tim? And this was probably special for you also for a couple different reasons, was our Crim6
Yeah,
Clayster.
that was gonna be my next thing. We had the double duo, a really good interview. If you haven't looked at it on our YouTube, all of our interviews, by the way, since the dawn of time, are on our YouTube, so you can always go there and check it out. But we had Crim6 and Clayster on at the same time.
Which that probably hasn't happened like a ton for them to do a dual interview.
Right.
Like they've teamed, not several instances. So I don't know how many times that would actually happen, but that was like a really big get for us.
Yeah, no, that was a really good one. And like you said, yeah, for personal reasons, like me and Clayster are best friends. He doesn't know it, but we are best friends. But we do have like, I would almost say like the most, when I say personal relationship, I mean it in the loosest way possible. But humble brag, he does like my tweets.
That's vague. That's cool.
He will like a random tweet that I do. So there is that. So that was really cool. Gotcha Pistola was really good just because he was finally our first person. Can I say this? The HCS, Halo Esports, they're awful. They suck from the ground up. Like,
it's 400. Say
it's
it.
Episode 400. Everyone who listens to this podcast knows I love Halo. To me, the memories and the nostalgic, I will always love it. And I wish it was the biggest esport in the world. But the only reason it's not, well, there's a lot of reasons why it's not, but one of them is because of you. HCS. The players, the staff, the orgs, all of you. We have tried so much to get them on, and to no avail. None whatsoever. Like, at least Evo, when we asked to get media passes to go to Evo, they just straight up were like, we don't need esports coverage. We don't really see that important for Evo. Like, they just straight up were like, yeah, we don't really think of ourselves as an esport. We're just fighting games. Like, no, you don't need to be here. Which I appreciate. We kind of chuckled and we're like, oh, okay. Like, guess you guys don't need esports then. But that was a good one. I'm just kind of looking at this list that we have here. Jeff Moore, Envy, now Optic.
Twist was a good interview.
Twist was good because Twist remembered us.
Yeah.
Either that or he lied to us and said he remembered it. But either way, I appreciate it. Right?
Stewie remembered us because we hunted him down every time at DreamHack.
Yeah.
This is when Cloud9 used to go to DreamHack, and we would hunt Stewie down every time he was out there.
Yeah. Look, and DreamHack used to be really good too. When it was in Austin, it was really good because the players would just hang out, right? Like just in downtown. So you would randomly see them, and it was a lot easier to quote unquote stalk them. So that was always good. That was always
Hastro, another good one.
Yeah, Hastro. Look, and I know we give shit to Optic, but our boys Hastro and Jeff Moore with Envy,
amazing people.
Yeah,
really are. I mean, truly are like class acts when it comes to caring about what you're doing and invested in. Hastro doing it as a gamer dad and kind of going through those stages in life at the same time that we were built a connection with them, and obviously our connection to the ticket to get radio coverage talking about Envy helped, no doubt. But he was definitely somebody that was exciting and fun for us to be able to chat with on numerous occasions as we did.
Some of the white whales that I don't think that we never got that I always wanted to. I always wanted
Skadoodle.
That. Yep, I was about to say Skadoodle, hands down. I had him. Like the harpoon was locked and loaded, and I was ready to get him. And we even had Shroud like backing us out. Like he was like, "Dude, these guys are like the easiest people to talk to. Go talk to them." Like Shroud said that. So, Skadoodle does not do interviews. He doesn't do liners. He doesn't talk to anyone. That is a hurt man right there. That guy has some scars. So he doesn't do any of it. So unless he wins a major, then he'll cry on stage. Warranted. So I always wanted Skadoodle. I always thought it would be cool to have. I know we've talked to Shroud multiple times, but we never did. We never had the opportunity or time to do a full-blown interview with him.
Yeah.
And I always wish we did. Because I remember at ESL, we overheard him talking about retiring. Remember? He was talking about saying whatever in like the media room. We just never had a chance to talk to him. Um,
Remember Cold Zero?
yeah, yeah.
He was drinking his beer, and he goes, "Bro, let me finish my beer, and
Never followed
I'll,
up.
I'll follow up with you here in a minute." And we were like right there, and he finished his beer and walked to his room.
The Brazilian players always pretended not to speak English when you asked them for an interview.
It's kind of impressive how that worked out.
Speaking English,
like
fine,
what can you say
all
at that
the
moment in time?
and then you ask them for an interview, and they're like, No.
The French scene was always the most pleasant scene to talk to, I thought. Talking to Shocks,
yeah,
talking to Body, Smits, who else? We had a couple other, I think. We had Shocks, Smits.
Kenny S. We've talked to Kenny S.
Kenny S, yeah, like that was like those were all really nice, like just good conversations and easy. Happy, we spoke to Happy.
Yeah.
And like they were, I remember all of those conversations walking away from like, well, that was a good interview. Like they were really easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And always felt that way about really anyone that we spoke to in the French scene. So maybe we just got the good group of
It's because
you know,
they're
people you would
all
want to interview, but they were all very friendly and
because none of them can have their lungs don't have the capacity for enough oxygen, so they're always just high on life the whole time with the amount of cigarettes they smoke. What other? Well, obviously hacks. I always did wish we got hacks. I always wish we had Fatality. I always wanted Fatality on the show.
yeah, that would have been cool. Although we did induct him at least.
He is in the Hall of Fame, but he did not. He never responds to anything. And then Mango. We have the epic all-time great liner from Mango, but never a sit-down interview with Mango, and that would have been, I think, just as entertaining. Could you imagine? It would be that liner times 40 minutes. It would be incredible. But
Really one of the best.
any white whales for you that we didn't get?
I mean, honestly, like I look at our list and I'm like,
We have
the
a
pleasure
good
of
list.
interviewing some badass people, you know, like some incredible athletes. Yeah, there's always going to be, you know, like I would have loved to have interviewed Get Right and Forrest, you know, like that would have been amazing if we had the opportunity to do that. I would have loved to interview K Sharp, who we actually were
I was gonna say, weren't
scheduling
we
to get
going
on the
to?
show,
Yeah.
and he had some prior obligations to do a couple other shows first, and it, you know, honestly, it's probably more on us for not following up and getting that set, but like that would have been a really cool interview also. I think Get Right would probably be my biggest regret, that we just never found a way to speak with him, you know, and get that done. That really would have been that would have been awesome. But
Yeah.
I think overall, you know, Device is another one, but that was more intimidation talking to him. We had the chance to talk to Device once or twice,
Yeah.
and didn't really go for it. And we spoke to like Zip Nix, and we spoke to
Sonic,
the
we had
coach
him,
and
yeah.
Sonic and those guys. So, you know, I there's always going to be some names that it's like I wish Hex obviously for me too would have been great to get him on, but I love the people that we did interview, and like I go through, and I know you and I created a list of names of people that we either interviewed or had on the show, or you know, hell, we could even write lists of names of liners, and that would be crazy to think about. Like, hey, this put us in a position to like go talk to all of these people, which is like it's cool, you know. It was like fun, and I enjoyed it, and I felt like part of something, and so, you know. Sinatra was a cool interview until 2021. Then it became not so cool. But like for the most part,
Allegedly,
all the interviews,
not cool.
yeah, allegedly, all the interviews we did were a lot of fun. Nifty was a great interview, and like there was just so many that I enjoyed having 20-30 minutes of their time. And
Right.
you know, that's the stuff I was telling you. I was like, okay, make sure we save this stuff because it'll be cool to like reminisce on some of it. And
I have it all. I have all the audio, everything. So
Counter-Strike celebrating its 10th year, and I know you're not going to see TCR in the ESL or Blast videos, but in like a way, like we've been part of the 10-year history of CS:GO. And we've been in our own little space and done
Right.
our own thing, but we I feel like we've been a part of it and been involved in it, and that's been the fun stuff. Is just getting to be around. Like if you're an NFL fan and you're getting to hang out on the sidelines and sometimes be in the locker room, like think about how exciting that would be. That's kind of the joy I got from this for
Right.
a long time there.
Yeah, and like being in radio and stuff, it's like I've been in those locker rooms, and so it was always cool to kind of be able to carry on that even when I was officially out of radio, right, per se.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe when maybe we do Counter-Strike more when events come around and things like that. Because that's another thing with COVID, right? Is Counter-Strike was kind of our bag, and since COVID, Counter-Strike has been non-existent in NA for the most part, right? We're starting to see more, but it's just that kind of sucked.
Shay, appreciate you, brother, man. You've been a long time listener as well, and appreciate you tuning in today, dude.
Yeah, Shay, that's kind words, and yeah, obviously you've been a long time listener. Appreciate it. Our paths have never officially crossed in person. We've always been around each other, right? We've been at the same events, just never been able to time things out. But if
Whoever says LinkedIn is useless, that's how Shay and I connected through like conversation, and it's been a pleasure to get to know you, brother, over the period of the last few years now.
Yep. So, it's just been a crazy ride for 400 episodes. I don't want to say I'm bitter that we're gone, but there is a little, like, it's definitely bittersweet to say that it's over. Because
I'm just a little sad. Like I look forward to
Yeah.
the Monday nights, to shoot the shit with
and
you.
Honestly, and this is just me being cocky, but it's like I really felt like we were the best, right? Like there is no other esports podcast out there that delivers it the way we do, right? We're not tied to an org. We're not a former player with friends in here that we're worried to hurt feelings for, a lot of the content out there, and that's also an issue too, right? Is so like we had basically free access to a lot of NV players and all that, right? But then when they merge with Optic, well, Optic does all of their own content, right? So if Hex or a player needs to break news or do anything, why would they come to us, right? They're going to go to Hex and their video team and do all that. So, I don't want to say we're bitterness or anything like that, but I'm a little bitter that we can't continue it. And obviously I'm going to look back with fond memories and just think of the what ifs and, what could have been. But at the same time, I
think when I look back at it, it's honestly just going to be the fond memories.
right.
Like all the shit that happened in between. It was like, okay, that's life. Stuff happens. It doesn't always go the way you want it to go. But as a whole, the last 5 years have been really enjoyable, and it's an experience I didn't think I was going to be in at any point. It's not something that I had planned to be a part of, and I'm glad I stuck around as long as I have. I mean, I've been here for 350 out of the 400, which is pretty cool. And we've, like I said, I think we built something fun, and
Yep.
more importantly, we built a community. Like all these names that I'm seeing on here, I'm like, damn, dude, like they're just
Drew.
names that
What's
are
up, Drew?
OGs. They've been there for so long, and so I really hope to see y'all in Discord and still chatting it up with us. Again, if you're not in there, please like join the Discord or even follow us on Twitter. You can follow our personal accounts or the TCR account, whichever you choose. But stay apart, like I would love to like just continue to chat with y'all about esports, even if it's not in a formal setting, and talk about life and whatever else. But yeah, I mean, it's been a pleasure, man. This has been a fun show. Looking forward to the next chapter, but I've definitely enjoyed the last few, and it's been a great time, and I have no regrets. I wish some things would have gone differently, but some things also went really great at the same
Right.
time, and that's what I'll kind of resonate on and keep, because the other shit, it is what it is. It's water under the
Right.
bridge. We learned something from it. We move on, and what we've done
Good
is
times.
something that's shit. There's 400 episodes of us talking nonsense about esports, like that's cool. So
Yep. And again, I appreciate you tagging along to join me on it. Like I said, I know it hasn't always been easy. I'm not always the easiest person to work with, but
maybe not always easy, but always fun.
Yep. Yeah, I'll take it. I will take it. There have been times where, I don't know. I know me. I could be a perfectionist at times, but it's been real. And thank you for sticking it out with me and doing this. It's been an absolute blast. And, I think at first it was always like, okay, well, TCR is my thing, and it's definitely like our thing now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like it was just, okay, this is my podcast and you're on it, right? It's our podcast. We made decisions. We did things like that. RIP to Brandon and Brett, although don't talk to them anymore. They were a part of it, and they will always have a special place in TCR and, dare I say, esports history. Brett, I still think is in the Discord. So for any of our listeners who want to shout out to Brett, I think he's in the Discord still, to be honest. I'm not sure. I know there was an awkward moment where we realized he did leave because we were going to invite him to play games with us. And he was like, can I have an invite to the Discord? And we were like, well, what happened?
All right.
What happened, Brett?
Got too many on there, huh?
What happened, Brett?
Had to take one off.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I hit that Discord limit. Had to delete one. So either way, though, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, I mean that's really it. I think we kind of touched on everything. The why, the what, and things like that. Ultimately, for those who maybe are just tuning in live, the gist of it is
unfortunate that you're this late. Let's start there.
Right, we're not even this late.
You are very late to the game right now because this is it.
The reality is, life caught up to the grind. That's kind of how I sum it up to people. Life caught up to the grind, and here we are. So whether that because one thing didn't happen or one thing did happen, regardless, like Anuj said, we had a lot of fun doing it, and it's time to move on and just enjoy some video games. Delete these fucking apps off my phone. I don't want to see Juked. If you're listening right now, I absolutely love everyone over at Juked. You have an amazing app. I'm a frequent venture of it, but holy shit, the notifications are nonstop.
They are
nonstop. Yeah. So I cannot
wait. We will
wait.
Be on social media silence here probably for a few weeks.
Oh, I cannot wait to delete,
refresh, and
not get any more notifications. I'm going on vacation. I will be at the beach on Wednesday, so it's just happenstance for timing purposes. Like, I will be able to just unplug. It's going to be great.
We won our first offer in like 70 homes, so that's also
knock on wood.
Going to keep us busy. So the timing could not be any better. So
the next time, regardless, the next time we do another episode, I'll be a little bit more tan. You'll have another kid, a new house, and things will be a little different. So that's the way she goes. Wolf. Oh, what's up, Wolf? Wolf in chat. Let's see here. Have you guys seen the Champs bundle for Valve? Wolf, always asking the questions in the emotional moment. Yeah, we did see the bundle, and
pretty sick actually.
They're sick. Now ask me if I'm going to get them.
No, but very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really all I got.
Should we hit them with the e-news?
Yeah, you know what? Can I ask one more like esportsy question?
Go for it.
Of you. Well, do I want to ask you this now or do I want to wait? So here's the thing. Let me peel back the curtain a little bit here. Everyone knows me. I'm a narcissist for my own voice and my creativity. I'll probably do another podcast here down the road. I am going to take a break and see if I still have the itch, right? And then it's just going to be like another talk show type thing with me, guess, whatever. And so obviously I could have you on and ask this question and dive more into it. But I'll ask you right now for our listeners.
You can still ask it now and ask it again
I'll
later.
I'll do it. Well, just next time, just know I'm asking you again and you can pretend that we haven't talked about this.
Okay.
Looking back at how long we've done this episode and how we have just been all in on esports for the last, 6-7 years. And I say that's just from doing the episode. You and I have been involved with esports since damn near the beginning, going to, where was like Office Depot and shit to do tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Like I remember when MLG did one set of bleachers and we just thought, my God, this is huge. Do you feel like esports is growing the way the industry is trying to tell people it's growing?
I mean, esports is massive. It's
Right.
massive, and there's no denying that. Now, we maybe oversell it in terms of how big it is, but it is large because you go to a Rocket League finals for their world championship, or you look at a Counter-Strike major, you look at Brazil selling out 12,000 tickets in 36 seconds. Like, esports is very big, and I think more importantly, the ones that like esports support it like loudly, you know? And so you kind of wear it as like a badge of honor. And so yeah, I I think it's growing, and it's grown so much, but you do hit like a plateau, and it's going to like tail off. Not to say that it's going to go down, but it's going to start to flatline slowly. And I think with COVID and unfortunately the demise of like things like Overwatch League and the struggles of CDL, like that's probably slowed down some investment money.
Right.
But you know, there will be another game that becomes huge and everybody wants to be a part of, and investors will be drooling over. And so that's the beauty of esports, is there's always something on the horizon,
Right.
you know?
See, I'm you're more optimistic than me then, because I am still waiting for that moment to be wowed. You know, like I remember with the Overwatch League, when I saw it in person, I was wowed. Like, you know, seeing it sell out complete stadiums and going to the major for CS, I was wowed. But all that's like with consumerism, right? Like the viewership numbers still go up, the tickets are being sold, and I get that, but I expect that, right? Because that's you and me, that's the people going into it. So that's always going to be there. What I am still confused by is how this billion-dollar industry can still be ran so poorly to where we still have 10-hour events with 3 hours of tech delays, and we see the same 3 commercials for those 10 hours. Like, where are these big advertisers? Where are these big brands that I see on NASCAR and football and every other, you know, you could turn on a badminton on ESPN and find more commercials and advertisers with it. It's like, where is this with esports? And it's like, have we just not figured out how to tap into this other side of the business? Like, and we, you know, we still, and I understand that the issue with esports too is like, some people are like, oh, this org isn't paying people, or this org's folding. Is this bad? And it's like, well, you know, that's just the way it goes. Sometimes, you know, you have minor leagues fold and switch ownership all the time too with traditional sports. So that's just the nature of the beast and where we're at with esports, where anyone can start
that
an
as
org.
a teaser for your next show, and hop back into that as a segment.
Yeah, like I said, like to me, I just want to ask before we get it done, just to leave the people with something to think about. You know how it goes. All right, let's get in for one last time, Anuj. Let's get into some e-news. All right, for CSGO, NIP is shopping device around finally. It only took 400 episodes for that to happen. With the rumored buyout of 600,000. I saw some people being like, "Oh, that seems like a lot." Does it? Because they got absolutely nothing out of him, so they should get as much money back as they can.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're gonna get 600 right now for him, though.
No, but I don't blame them for trying.
Yeah, no, you gotta try, but like offers are kind of set at the moment. Like, I mean, that's a lot of money for an offer.
Well, especially one that's been on the bench for not even on the bench. MIA.
If you were buying device at Astrala's device, yeah, 600K is a pretty good deal, but you don't know what you're getting right now.
No. G2 officially signs JKS and Hooksy, which is, you know, kind of everyone saw
I like
that.
the moves. I mean,
Yeah.
JKS, good move. Hooksy, we'll see. It's not a bad move. It's just we have to see how that kind of goes. But they're kind of constantly tweaking their lineup to, like, you know, make it right. So I've always appreciated that with G2, and we'll leave it at that on our way out.
I did think it's funny that Twist decided to mention that he feels teams are making too many roster moves and he doesn't like it. But the irony was like, Twist, didn't you also make roster moves and all that shit all the time?
I saw his last comment that he said. I was like, it's can be off-putting to see some of that stuff, the way he words it, but like I get what he's saying, but the timing's not right because like you're number one right now.
Yeah, right. Like, well, Twist, you're also number one. Let's not forget the last time you weren't on a number one team with Liquid, and you guys made a roster move every other week. So let's pump the brakes on the judgmental talk here. 10 years update in Counter-Strike kind of sucks.
Yeah, it was like a little lackluster, right? Like it was okay. Tuscan, amazing, love it.
That map, you and I. If there was a way that we could veto every single map, we would go pro. If it was just Tuscan and that's all we had to play, we would go pro. We dominate on that map.
It's like it just fits, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's been great, but we didn't get another map that looks like it has real potential. Anubis, I've never looked at that way. Breach, I've never looked at that way. So yeah, and then there wasn't like an operation. There wasn't any major like change or update. It was just kind of like, hey, here's some stickers. Here's a handful of maps into the competitive map pool, one of which only really has viability to make it through. So
I did laugh at their tweet when they said 10 years of countless of updates. I'm like, define countless.
Like, yeah, you've done a lot. How many of them were like... No, but I mean, they've had a lot of big updates, obviously, in 10 years. It's just... We're waiting for some for the last 10 years.
They've had a lot. Well. It's also just been slow.
Yeah,
In Valorant news, champs start on the 31st, so unfortunately we will not be able to dive into that. But as we said earlier, the skins, they look cool. I know you can get some things for watching this time around, so that's neat. Go NA. Good luck to the NA boys. To any of our EU fans or anyone else out there, best of luck. But I'll be watching. Congrats to Tens. He's officially engaged.
Yep.
So
good job.
Only a matter of time. I guess now at least now he has an excuse for when he chokes. He can be like, guys, sorry, the wife, nagging me to do stuff.
Kept me up all night.
Yeah, wife, I had to go mow the yard. You know how the old ball and chain. So at least he'll have an excuse for why he fails to carry his team. Riot lays the groundwork for their Challenger series next year. So were you able to take a look at that?
I looked at it. Yeah, they have like a solid tier 2 like path to pro kind of thing. So
it does give and that was always our concern is like, so these teams that don't get partnered, what's keeping them around? And
they put a plan at least in there to give them a reason to at least maybe stick around. So
the Twitter sniff test looked like people were happy with it, so I guess I'm happy with it. I won't be a negative Nancy and still think that this wouldn't be enough for me in an industry where all we hear is that it's impossible to make money off your roster. I would still be hesitant to have one on tier 2 level, but I guess this at least gives you a reason to play.
Yeah.
In Call of Duty news, Optic pulled, I guess people are calling it a troll move, but confused the hell out of everyone. As the other day, it was like the per source.
They had real issues. Like, I don't think it was 100% a troll. I think that they really were planning on making some changes.
Well, that's what Scump even said. Like, Scump on his Twitch stream mentioned, like, no, we were talking about it, and then we had kind of a closed locker room come to Jesus talk and decided let's run it back. Which I don't know how much confidence that gives me as a Optic fan going into next year.
I think it should give you some. I think losing Dashy, he was an MVP candidate this past year.
Yeah.
So to lose him would have hurt. And Illy injured.
Right.
This team.
Well, and that's what we said
in Modern Warfare.
We said that all year. The Illy injury. Although, he might have
been... They all talked about it again in depth, saying, like, they didn't talk about exactly what it was, but that it did affect his play.
Right.
And Shotzi and Illy got a championship in Modern Warfare, so not bad to maybe consider bringing them.
But boy, do I love the fact that all these per sources idiots on Twitter, all these people that make a living, like all the beat writers for esports that report everything, like you look at their Twitter and every tweet starts with per sources and they're not willing to put their name on anything. You bunch of idiots. And then all of a sudden they report this all day that Optic is going to make this move. Then Optic is like, no, we're not. And all these dumbass reporters are like, oh man, I guess it wasn't true. It's like, so you mean this tweet that you got like 2,000 likes on, like again, to our point,
It was good to farm impressions. It's all right.
You can
It's
make
all right.
you can make up anything if you just put per sources in front of it. Like, doesn't matter. That's the trick, boys and girls. In FPS news, Quake World Champs, Kilson won at QuakeCon Online. Rogue defeated FaZe in the Rainbow Six Berlin Major. Battle Royale news, Patrick Mahomes is in Fortnite. Kyler Murray is pissed.
Dude, Kyler Murray just wants a COD skin.
Kyler Murray is like, so I'm sitting here having it in my contract that I can't game, and this mofo's in the game? Like, what the hell? So congrats. And then speaking of the NFL, Anuj, you're about to have a bigger house. I know what you can use to fill in some wall space.
I told Kelly that there's a couple of arcade 1-up cabinets that I would not mind having, and that would definitely be one of them.
It was announced.
I want that one, NBA Jam, Turtles in Time.
Yeah, I'll be there. NFL Blitz is coming back as a arcade 1-up, which I think everyone has probably seen them. They're like the miniature. They're not full-size arcade cabinets, but they're like the miniature arcade cabinets, reasonably priced, like around $400-500. But NFL Blitz is coming back as that. Though they did say that they took away like the late hits. You know how before in Blitz you could basically murder someone after the whistle and just constantly step on their
Why
head?
would you take that out?
They
Seems
said
weird.
it's because it doesn't represent what they want for the NFL. But again, to the NFL,
The whole game is like a murderous game in terms of how you
right? Like, so I can't hit him late, but I can take off his head in the middle of the play. And it's like, NFL, you guys are like known for concussions. Like, why are you all of a sudden worried about blitz? Like, that's what you're worried about? Like, did you just take out, like, I don't even, can you get a concussion in Madden? Like, they should just take that out then. Like, just take out concussions. Like, the NFL, I'm afraid the NFL is missing the point of what NFL blitz is for. Like, yeah, we're not really caring about football on this one, boys. Like, we kind of just want to smack people around, but nonetheless, that one might have just found my Christmas present on that one. So, all right, well, that does it for E-News episode 400. It's done. It's in the books. Everyone, again, thank you so much for listening. Again, join the Discord at the Center Ring on Twitter. Go ahead and follow. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're on Twitch, whatever, go subscribe to our YouTube. Follow us on Twitch. Get into the Discord. We're still being around. We're still playing games. We're still going to do content here and there. It's just not in the weekly fashion that you're used to. We're still, look, the fact that we're going to have a little bit more, another free night, community nights. We used to do them all the time where we would get on and game with our listeners and everyone. And again, damn kids kind of took that time away. Look, maybe that's back on the table, right?
Well, and obviously a big thing is always, is there a game that majority of people are playing?
Right.
And
Yeah.
Warzone 2 coming out, I feel like a lot of people will jump in, and
Call of
we'll
Duty in
find
general.
ways to stay involved. And man, again, just one last time from me, at least before Tim signs us off here. Thank you guys. Like, seriously, it's been incredible. It's sad to see it ending, but I'm like just happy that I got to be part of it, man. So thank you, Tim. Thank you, anybody that's ever tuned in through any of the 400, whether you listened a little bit or you listened a lot, man. We love you all the same. So really do appreciate it, and stay tuned. There might be more. There might be more. We'll keep hope alive.
Absolutely. You never know what's around the corner. You never know.
Never know.
Maybe we leave our families.
Saudi oil money gets involved.
Yeah.
Who
Hey,
knows?
Prince Abu Dhabi, hit us up. We everyone's got our price, and to be honest, ours is probably a lot less than what you think. So just hit us up, and we can go from there. Like Anuj said, everyone out there, thank you so much. Whether you listened for a second all the way through, you skipped around, listen to one episode, 400 episodes, we love you eternally. To the boys at Envy, to Philly Esports, you are one of the good dudes in the industry. Anyone out there, James, I'm trying to think of, I'll spacing on names, but you know who you are. Thank you for being a part of it. Love you. Anuj, thank you again for always sticking it out and with 400 episodes. And, we'll probably play games in like 10 minutes. So
See you soon.
see you soon. I'll see you around.
I got like 40 calls to make right now after this. So
That's right. Yeah, you got
gotta
work to do.
Wife, mom, dad, sister, got some calls to make.
Hell yeah. All right, everyone in chat, we love you. Until next time, for Anuj, I'm Tim. We'll see ya. Love you. Bye. All right. There you have it, boys and girls. That's a
Damn.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Well,
All right. Now that we're done, I fucking hated every single one of you.
And fuck that sub button.
Fuck you. Fuck esports. Fuck Jake Lucky.
You put us out of business. No. It was fun. It was fun.
Oh yeah, right.
I would
400 episodes and never got that sub button.
Never
Listen,
got the
that's
sub
a
button.
whole fucking episode in itself. On what? That's part of the investment drama that we never could figure it out and we gave up.
Yeah. Never could. Okay, I would love to like sit around and chat, but I
Okay.
really do have a handful of
business.
things I need to do. This is the start of retirement and the beginning of everything else now. So, Tim, I love you.
Yep.
Everybody that listened in, I love all of y'all equally. Probably more than I love Tim, but I love all of y'all. And I will see you very soon.
Yep. All right. Let me know how all that shakes down for you and what's going on.
Will do. All right, guys. Y'all take care.
All right.
Have a
Later,
good
brother.
night. Bye.
All right. Everyone in chat, I'm trying to get this to work here. Hold on. Oh, that did not like whatever I tried doing. Oh. This is why I don't do this shit. Look at me. Look at what I did. I fucked it up. All right, everyone in chat. We obviously love you. Thank you guys seriously for everything, for just like I said, stopping by on all these weeks. I know I recognize a lot of your names, and we've talked in Discord and Twitter and just in chat for all these years. It's actually been just incredible, an incredible experience, and super fortunate to have the opportunity. And again, that's because of you guys, right? We would not have been able to do what we do if it weren't for that. So there we go. But yeah, so like I said on the show, we're still here. Get in the Discord, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, and I would just follow. You know what? Just follow us on YouTube and Twitch, because I don't know what we're gonna continue. We're not gonna be doing both. Probably YouTube, because it just seems like that's where the larger group of our audience is at. Is on YouTube as opposed to Twitch. So I would say just follow us on YouTube, but do both, just because I don't know. And like I said, keep an eye out, because I'll probably do another podcast here. I don't know. I'm gonna really try to just take some time away from it all, delete the social media apps, just unplug from that, at least from the cell phone world, for as long as I can. But yeah, it's been real. All right, so I will get to editing this episode, and everyone in chat, truly, 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 I love you. Thanks. It's been real. Ginger, Joey, we'll have to game sometime. I know, didn't you like join the Navy or something? Am I crazy on this? Didn't you do something that takes up a lot of your time? Hello. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So whenever you have time, hit us up, and we're always down to game. Oh, nice. Well, yeah. What kind of business? I'm editing the episode right now. Blockchain startup. Very nice. Very trendy. I hear that's all the rage with the kids. All right. I am posting this episode right now. So building decentralized Fiverr and enterprise software. I wish I could tell you I have any idea what half of that means, but I don't. I just like to talk in a microphone. So all right, boys and girls, I am going to kill the stream so I can get to finish uploading this. Like I said, well, what the fuck just happened there? Oh, I know what happened. So go ahead, follow us on everything. We will be back for sure to game, do whatever, and whatever, you know. We'll definitely be in Discord playing games more often than not. Now that I don't have to worry about the show, don't have to worry about the weekly setup, things like that, what we're going to talk about. Frees up some time, frees up some mental capacity just to chill for the first time in like 7 years. I don't have to worry about numbers and listeners and all that shit. So looking forward to it. And much love, big hugs, tiny kisses. Peace out.